Good morning, Barbados, good morning to you. Good morning, 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 morning. Good morning to you. Good morning, Barbados, good morning. Good morning to you. Good morning, morning, Barbados, good morning. Wake up, wake up, wake up. Morning to you.
Good morning, everyone, and morning to you too. All of you, welcome to today. It is a terrific Thursday morning, Thursday, the 19th of February, 2026. I'm Pearson Bowen. Good having you company. It's Thursday, and it's Q Day today. And so before the show is done, I'll tell you exactly where Q in the community is today. So wake up, wake up, wake up. I know a number of you are probably struggling at the moment. If it's raining in your neck of the woods, at the moment it is a hard task to roll off of bed and to get up and get going. But one must do what one has to do. And so if you have to get up get up and get going. To those of you coming in on our streams on Facebook, YouTube, and our website, cbc.bb, good morning. How do you do? Have yourselves a terrific today as well. And remember, talk among yourselves, talk to us as well. We love when you engage with what we do. So your comments, your queries, your questions are always, always, always welcomed. And of course, share the show, share the love, bring others to join in what we do. If you know of something or someone and some idea that we have to share, then tell us about it. And you can simply do so by sending us what you know by email. Our email address is morninbarbados@cbc.bb, morninbarbados@cbc.bb, and you point us to someone whose story you think we need to highlight on the show, and we will be happy to follow up on your behalf. So thanks to all of you who are partnering with us at Mornin Barbados as well. Hope you have a lovely, lovely today. Now, it's Thursday, it's the day after Ash Wednesday. What did you do yesterday for Ash Wednesday? What are you contemplating giving up for the season of Lent? And we often ask to make sacrifice, just as God through his Son made a sacrifice for us. So what are you giving up? What are you prepared to do differently this Lenten season? What is it? I know in the Methodist Church they're looking at gut health, and so there's a campaign on, and quite a number of people have already joined that movement. And so is that it for you? Is it that you're probably saying, you know what, I'll do it with chocolate, and don't just make it some token that you're doing. Make it quite serious as a change in habit, change in behavior. And so what is it that you're considering giving up for Lent? What is it? 40 days, 40 nights. Are you going to take on something very positive as well? Will you use the moment, just a moment, to reconnect with your truth and reconnect with a greater understanding of exactly who you are, whose you are, and what you're required to do? Are you going to take some time to think about that? Could church help you where that's concerned? Or could you do as we're asking on our question of the day today? Our question of the day today is, if you're giving something up this Lenten season, what would that be? I know this is a tough one, right? Would it be your sweets and sugary drinks? Is that your sacrifice for the Lenten season? Is it you're giving up social media and screen time? Oh boy, that's a tough one for a lot of you. Those devices are so addictive. But is that one of the things you're giving up for the Lenten season? Could it be fast food and late night snacking? Easy. Fast food and late night snacking. Is that your sacrifice for the Lenten season? Are you giving up being a complainer and someone who speaks negatively? Is that something you want to give up and to change? Could you contemplate giving that up for the Lenten season and begin a new habit? Is it just nothing and you're simply adding prayer or good deeds instead? What is it for you? You can always feel free to give me a call on 228-5562 or 228-5563, or to post your comments in our comment sections on Facebook and YouTube. I'd love to hear from you. So engage, folks. Let us know what your thoughts are. And while we wait on you to respond, you're probably asking yourselves yesterday, as I was too, who won the road march in Trinidad and Tobago? Who won the road march in Trinidad and Tobago? The results are in, ladies and gentlemen. And the man who has now copped the title of Road March Champion for the 12th time, the most wins by one individual in the history of carnival in Trinidad and Tobago, that man, bring it up. You have it? Bring it up, let me tell you. On your screen, you see the results. He did it again. He brought another encore. Machel Montano is once again the Road March monarch of Trinidad and Tobago with 171 plays. Sorry. I'm told that after all it was done, he went around to each band to say thank you, thank you, thank you, thank you for playing his song probably 171 times. But the one who came second for me is my winner. My winner voice with that song that is so sweet. It's called Can't Behave. I can't behave myself. So well done to you, voice, as well for doing so well. At the beginning of Carnival, Bungie Garden said, I ain't competing. You're making sport. Look at Bungie. He came third with Still a Road Man. And so well done to the top three. Patrice Roberts snuck in there and in fourth position. So too did the one called Full Blown, the team of the Hart brothers, Full Blown with Respectfully Yours. Respectfully Yours was one of those songs that was high, actually was #1 on the charts in Trinidad and Tobago for 5 consecutive weeks. And just last week, Voice toppled him, indeed. And so congratulations to all who are part of that carnival there in Trinidad and Tobago, making successes of yourselves. The Holetown Festival continues. It continues in great detail today, and so today is Thursday. So today, Thursday, at 10 o'clock this morning in the Holetown Methodist Church, they're having the Alfred Pragnell Memorial Talk. That starts at 10 o'clock. This is not for visitors to our island. This is for all Barbadians. So as much as possible, make your way into Holetown, into the pews of the Holetown Methodist Church to hear from the historians and the different presenters in the Alfred Pragnell Memorial Talk. And then at 8 o'clock this evening, because the Limey Tent opens from noon for lunch and on and on and on and on, at 8 o'clock the big show is a chill and lime evening with karaoke. And so you're invited and encouraged at the end of your day to head down to the chill zone in Holetown to be a part of the festivities there. Tomorrow is Friday. Tomorrow there will not be the tattoo as is traditional. That's because the police service has been pressed into so many national duties that they're not prepared adequately for the tattoo this year. But there's another entertainment item that they have replaced it with, and so they encourage you to go to the social media platforms of the Holetown Festival and see for yourself just what's planned. But by the end of the night, you go back into the Limey Tent. In the Limey Tent, you'll be having a back-in-time moment. And so there's a lot happening still in Holetown Festival. Before the show is done today, we'll share with you another big activity of the Holetown Festival happening on Sunday, which is also a staple of the show. So look out for that. Curtis Hope, good morning to you as well. Have yourself a great day. Thank you so much for sending your greetings. Pat Ben, as always, very good day to you, Pat. She's saying good morning to her sisters and brothers across the pond. We do the same to you. Sherry Ann Bless, good morning. A terrific Thursday morning to you as well. She says, get up, folks. Shine and do this, all that you have to do in style. Vereen Walker, good morning to you as well. Blessings back at you. Thank you so very much for reaching out and sharing as well. Joe Jackman in the UK, have yourself a thankful, safe Q day as well. Thank you, Joe. Bacco Corbin, who sat right there across from me. Bacco, good morning as well. He's logging in from New York. Bacco, good morning to you too. Have yourself a great day. Marcy Rock, good morning. Beautiful morning to you too. She says good morning to all of the beautiful people and all of the beautiful people everywhere say good morning to you as well. Audrey Harris, how are you doing? She says simply, good morning all. Love it. That's part of our nature as Barbadians. I love it. Don't ever lose it. Algernon Norville is watching from New Jersey in the United States. Algernon, good morning to you, sir. Have yourselves a great day, Mr. Norville. All the best to you indeed. Hello to you, Charmaine. Charmaine 868. Does that 868 mean Trinidad and Tobago, Charmaine? Is that what it means, or is that 868 for another reason? But she says, good morning to all in Barbados indeed, and back at you. This morning we'll meet a man, a Barbadian man, who plies his trade, literally his skills, in the United Kingdom. And we want to connect with him to find out what it all means. After 20 years doing what you do and doing it so well, what else are you doing? How do you now see Barbados? We want to talk to him about that in just a little while coming up. Also, we want to spend some time, I'm wearing my blue, because autism awareness. And so it is one of those things, those conditions that's popping up ever so often. Remember yesterday with Dr. Birch when we talked about the silent epidemic? And sometimes we don't understand why children express anxiety. Autism could very well be one of those. And so there are options available for you to be able to attend when you are met with a relative or loved one who has been diagnosed on the spectrum for autism. It is not a death sentence. As a matter of fact, speaking from personal experience, autistic children are brilliant, brilliant beyond belief. So you have a treasure in your hands. And so we'll share with you ways in which you can manage that treasure you have in your company. In our festival spotlight today, we'll share with you the beauty of music through the playing of the Holetown Harmonites. Yes, they're still around. And so this coming Sunday, they have an activity for which we want you to be a part. And so we'll share that with you as well. And before the day is done, can you sew? Can you really sew? There's a designer and someone who keeps you so connected, who will be with us this one to share a little bit about her passion and what she does to make all things happen. But there's a lot to get to. What I'll do here as I wait on your call to our question of the day, if you're giving something up this Lenten season, what could that be? Look at the list, think about it. It could be something else, and then you get ready to respond. We'll take your comments a little later on. We'll take a break here, however, and we're back in just a moment. Oh!
Morning, morning, morning. Good morning. Good morning to you.
Welcome to Nature's Discount, the ultimate health food store. At Nature's Discount, we have thousands of quality products at great prices.
Hi guys, Dottie here with Nature's Discount, and today we are talking about Solar Ray microbiome probiotics and why you should be taking them.
And we have well over 3,000 amazing products to help you get healthy.
For your health tips, tune in to CBC TV 8 every Monday, Tuesday, and Thursday for Nature's Discount, sponsored by Get Healthy Incorporated.
98.1 The One, your number one party station. With an audience from 18 to 40, we keep you engaged, energized, and entertained. Choose 98.1 FM, The One.
Hey there, it's Mahalia. I want to share something that might be really helpful. If you're feeling anxious, overwhelmed, depressed, or lonely,
we'll get to meet one of those personalities in just a moment, but there's another local personality who we want to acknowledge right now. Today is his birthday. That's the one and only great sportscaster, sportsman, brilliant father, grandfather in Sylvester Ford. Sylvester Ford, a very happy birthday to you today. I saw you just recently. You're looking well. Keep doing well what you're doing and continue to inspire those with who you engage. So Sylvester Ford, today the 19th of February, it's your birthday. Congratulations to you indeed. Have a beautiful today, and I hope whatever you choose to do, you do so meaningfully, knowing just why you're doing it, for whom you're doing it, and whose you are, Sylvester. As old as you get, you're never too old for me to put you across the knees and give you a spank. Just kidding you. But Sylvester Ford, have a lovely birthday today. All right, this personality we're meeting with now is a Barbadian who comes from a very simple place from his own mind, Wilson Hill in St. John. And it's at Wilson Hill, St. John, that his whole character was formed. But Wilson Hill from St. John also brings him back all the time. He is not lost who he is. He's a brilliant clinical surgeon, a clinician in the emergency medicine in the United Kingdom, as a matter of fact. Who is he, you ask? His name is Dr. Belfield Burgess. Dr. Belfield Burgess, or Don.
Don.
Good morning to you, sir.
Good morning.
Everybody calls you Don.
Yes.
Why?
My middle name is MacDonald.
So the shortened says Don.
It's shortened to Don. I only discovered Belfield was my name at primary school.
When the teacher called you by your
She said
full name?
Belfield, and I looked around to think, we must be related. Who is this Belfield Burgess? And she said, oh, that's you. I'm like, okay, fine. So if you really know me, you'll call me Don. The primary school friends will call me Belfield. It varies.
Yes. So Don shall it be.
Don is fine.
And so talk to me a little bit about what it meant for you growing up in Wilson Hill, St. John.
It's a tiny place. And growing up, it was a collection of working class people in the middle, and you had two houses on either end of people with means. And so you learn about humility because both of the occupants of those houses were humble people, despite the trappings. Mm-hmm. And it was a traditional country thing where everybody knew everybody else, and you had to say hi to your neighbors, even if the parents weren't speaking. You had supervisors, you had bodyguards, you had, an actual real village. So that's kind of created lifelong friends. It's created a collection of effectively older siblings. Yes,
And so it's part of the philosophy by which you live as well.
Absolutely.
Because you live by the saying that society is better when more of us are better off.
Correct.
And so I wanted to track it back in that particular way, because you found your way eventually into the United Kingdom to practice what you do.
Yes.
And so was that part of the society is better off when everyone is better off?
Not really. It's some of that's evolved. I ended up in the UK because the thing I wanted to do as a specialty area was unavailable in the Caribbean. And I started off in medicine thinking, okay, I'm going to do cardiac surgery. Started down that road and realized I would have to come to Barbados to compete with a friend. Then went into general surgery, and I did that for a while, and realized that we had a need for reconstructive surgeons when a really good friend of mine, who's still a friend, her mom had a problem that needed reconstruction. So I went to the UK to do that, and along there I realized that the system didn't work for me. So I think I made a decision that, I am very comfortable with emergency medicine. I had done it before, so I went back to something that I was comfortable with and I could do for more than 10 minutes. And I have been doing this now for 20-something years.
You hear so many horror stories that people of color, people who are dark-skinned, meet a different kind of response in the British medical system than those who are Caucasian. Is that your reality?
The reality of it is that if you're working, there's always going to be a suspicion in your mind when something happens that, would it be different if I looked different? The British are not overt in whatever negative behavior as you'd find on the north of us, but you will always have the suspicion anywhere you are where people don't look like you. So I don't think there's a massive amount of disparity in terms of treatment, but I think it's there because people have biases regardless. I don't think a lot of it is conscious.
The little boy from Wilson Hill, St. John's, settling into London, what was that transition like for you, that acclimatization, like getting your feet settled?
Oh, it was quite easy actually, because I had a cousin, well, I have a cousin who took me around like everywhere and showed me every spot, good, bad, and indifferent. And when I moved, I was actually supposed to move the year previous because I was living in Jamaica, and one of my really good friends, who's still a good friend, he lived 3 miles away. We were friends from medical school. He's a youngster from St. Lucie, and then we lived in Jamaica. And he went to London. He said, "Look, I'll just get a big enough place for us." And then I ended up getting stuck in Jamaica for a year. But eventually I got there, and it was easy. It was show up and go to work.
Just get on with it.
Just get on with it.
So what has that taught you about life in general and taught you about you, Don?
No, I mean, I knew the good thing about being grounded in a village. I knew who I was before. So the place was never going to change me. I mean, you fast forward, and I haven't actually lived in Barbados full time for decades. And people ask, but why you still have a Bajan accent?
I was coming to that next.
Right? and my position on that is, I am a boy from Wilson Hill. You can't take that out of me, And so especially when I'm exasperated, everybody at work knows the figure of speech when I say, none of it ain't going to shorten my life, right? They all know it when I get into the more Bajan and everything else. So that's my comfort zone. And I think you stick to the comfort zone that you know, and it makes your life easier. And that's one of the reasons why I try to help youngsters kind of recognize and fix their comfort zone. Where are you happiest? Where are you most comfortable? And how can you get the most out of you without too much stress?
Your view of Barbados in the context of this comfort zone, do you think that Barbadians are too comfortable and should be a lot more agitated to want to explore and conquer the world?
It's kind of a loaded question, but absolutely. I mean, the fact of it is, unless you have broader exposure, it's always going to be difficult to have a broader vision. And one of the things you will find when you come here as somebody who's lived elsewhere is that you're much more comfortable speaking to people with a similar experience because you have that to share. But we have a bigger purview, we have bigger visions, and we see the actual potential, the real potential of Barbados. This country is nowhere near the expression of the potential that we have. And a lot of it is because if you don't have the exposure, you have no idea what's possible. And therefore, every idea looks like a dangerous, hard, difficult, troubling thing. But I could find 25 things today that you could change in Barbados that would improve life for everybody. And I think that's part of it is to try to get the people who have never lived elsewhere to understand that same vision, even if they don't want to live elsewhere.
But that's not easy.
No, it's not. But you have to speak to people one at a time. It's difficult, and you have to learn how to express yourself clearly, give analogy, etc., that people understand where you're coming from.
The view of Barbados in the United Kingdom. Can you tell me what people there think of us?
So you have different points of view. You have a lot of the Bajans who left Barbados 50 years ago, who a lot of them are rooted in the idea of Barbados 40, 50 years ago. It's a completely different place. You have the people who have a vision that's totally from the press, so it's not necessarily accurate. Most of the British still view Barbados as an exotic place, where if you mention you're going on holiday, people go, "Oh my gosh, you're going to Barbados!"
Yes.
Right? And then among the educated, sort of middle upper class, you still have the view of certain things. I remember my son was going to high school, and I was talking to one of the parents. His parents meet the teachers kind of thing, and he said he knew a few people from Barbados. He recognized my accent, and he said, I knew a few people from Barbados, and he called the names. I said, "Oh, we went to school together," and he jumped up and he said, "This man went to the Eton of Barbados," and it just showed me their perspective.
Yes.
And how they actually visualize the place. So for the most part, I think it's positive.
Were your children born here or were they born there? They were born there.
My children were born at a hospital 5 minutes drive away from my house in the UK. And I'm still living in the same place because I've already said, and I've said many times, when I leave that house, the next place I live is Barbados. Because there's no reason for me to leave and go anywhere else.
Right.
We're trying to create something here that makes it viable financially, makes it viable socially and spiritually and all these other things. And the only bit that's left, the only box that's left unticked is the economic box.
Right. Which you're working on.
Which we're working on.
So
yes.
Wilson Hill? Would you return to Wilson Hill?
No, we're not actually going to live in Wilson Hill now. I mean, from my perspective, that's my permanent address. I just happen to live elsewhere for the last 40 years. But that's my permanent address. It's going to be in Barbados, not that far. 10 minutes drive. It's Barbados. Everywhere is 15 minutes drive.
That's right.
Yes.
That's right. You sound just like me. Honestly, you do. It's my permanent address. I just happen to live somewhere else.
I just happen to live somewhere else, yes.
That's all it is. Our question of the day, are you into Lent and that kind of thing and making sacrifice for Lent?
Not particularly, because I'm not a person of excess. And I don't do, most of life is measured. Does it make sense to do X? Does it make sense to do Y? So if it's something that I'm doing, it means that I've considered it. If it's something that I think that at some point in time I need to give up I've already given it up.
See why you're a clinical physician?
Yes.
You're so clinical
Yeah.
even in your thinking.
Yes.
It's just not funny. But thank you so much for joining us this morning. It's good to see you.
Yes.
And for
Thank
all of
you.
you from Wilson Hill, St. John and its environs, or you've been to school with Dawn, Dawn is on the island indeed. And so if you wish to, find him. You'll track him now for sure.
Yes.
But good to have you, my friend. Take
Thank
care.
you. Thank you very
You're
much.
very welcome.
Thank you.
Morning Barbados takes a break here. We're coming back in just a moment.
Hey there, it's Mahalia. I want to share something that might be really helpful. If you're feeling anxious, overwhelmed, depressed, or lonely and have no one to talk to, call Lifeline Barbados. We all face struggles at times in our lives. You're not alone. There's no need to feel ashamed or embarrassed. It's okay to reach out for support. Lifeline Barbados is completely confidential. No one else will know you called. They're there to offer a caring ear and guidance without judgment. And fellas, I want you to know asking for help is a true
Month of Love, and Morning Barbados wants to hear your love story. In 90 seconds or less, send us your short video sharing your love story, how it began, how it started, and why it is so important to you. Selected videos will be featured on Morning Barbados and on TV8 on our social media platforms, and the most votes wins. The Month of Love is here, ladies and gentlemen, and made very special by South Point Hotel, where breathtaking ocean views meet modern elegance and romance comes naturally. So, love is in the air. Send us your video by email to marketing@cbc.bb. You have until February the 25th to do so, and good luck to all. We can't wait to hear your love story.
There is a saying, you can find a Bajan anywhere. Are you a Bajan living abroad? Or do you know of one who has migrated to another country? Well, we at Mornin Barbados would love to have you or them on our Bajan Affair segment. Share your amazing stories, experiences, and how you have adapted to a new culture. Send us an email to morninbarbados@cbc.bb, and together we will travel the world.
Some ask, what makes Barbados so special? We at Mornin Barbados say it's you, our exceptional youth. You are talented, resilient, and inspirational. You are the epitome of the Barbadian spirit, testing the boundaries of your creativity. If you are an entrepreneur, artist, baker, designer, author, or have done anything you think should be highlighted, email us at morninbarbados@cbc.bb. Let us show the world our exceptional Bajan youth.
Morning, morning, morning. Good morning. Good morning to you.
6:30 in Barbados and the Eastern Caribbean. I'm so happy that today I'm wearing my blue because I also stand in support of autism awareness. And not just awareness alone, but we have to change our approach. We have to understand and widen our compassion and understanding of those who have been on the spectrum for autism. And I keep saying it, and I'll say it till I die. They are brilliant people with gifts. They are actually a gift to this world. And so when we shift our perspective, we shift our understanding. And that's what we're talking about here now. We're joined by Kathy Daniel, my good friend. Good morning, Kathy.
Good morning.
And with her is Shanika Miller-Kelman. Good morning, Shanika. And you're part of a group, a non-governmental organization called Evening Stars Barbados.
That is correct.
Tell me a little bit about that organization, first of all, Kathy.
Well, as you said, it's a non-profit, and it's dedicated to supporting children on the spectrum, autistic children, and so the individuals and their families. Because, of course, boy, it can be a challenge. Just the neurotypical children can be a challenge. So when you get neurodivergence now, yeah, it can be a challenge. So our mission is to promote inclusion, empower families, and strengthen community understanding of autism spectrum disorder across Barbados. So we have our first community event coming up, and we're going to outline our broader goals for service, awareness, and sustainable support.
And you're right, understanding is critical.
Yes.
Until you because we see them. Yesterday we were talking about the silent disorder, the silent epidemic known as anxiety. And while talking to the doctor, oftentimes we misdiagnose what's going on with the child. And so the child represents all that it feels in some behaviors that we don't quite understand. But once we attend to it, we recognize, one, the child could be autistic. Let's talk a little bit about the understanding, Shanika, understanding what autism is.
Well, yes, so understanding autism, it comes in wide range in terms of communications, and we find that there are non-verbal communication cues where it can be mistaken that a child is rude or a child don't want to speak, and oftentimes those kinds of children are placed in the back burner. What I want to really touch on, something that you just spoke on when you said that the spectrum, because people have to understand autism is a spectrum, means that everyone on the spectrum shows difference, right? So, for example, I might have nonverbal cues, another child might have something different, and we can't class everyone under the same umbrella. And oftentimes, autism is diagnosed or misdiagnosed as ADHD, personality disorders, and the list can go on, right? But you have to be able to understand what are the diagnosis according to DSM-5, what autism is, right? And it is again, I think that persons get mistake when they don't understand what it is.
And then we find ourselves, when we don't understand what it is, not be able to respond to the needs of that child. And the child becomes frustrated, the child acts out, and then we wonder, what's wrong with you? And really, what's wrong with me? Why did I not take the time to understand the messaging from the child?
One of the questions I would ask too is that, what do we consider normalcy? And I have been asking this question, how do we differentiate that some person is not normal? Right? And it's based on societal norms. What it is, suppose looking through the lenses of a person that's autistic, they might see that they are normal and we are strange. So really and truly, what is considered as normal? Right? And I'm still baffled with that question.
So to bridge that, it requires understanding.
That is
one
correct.
with the other. And so, Kathy, I know that part of the initiative that you're doing with the workshop coming up is to help us understand.
Precisely.
But I know for a lot of parents who are managing this, whose child has already been diagnosed on the spectrum, they feel as if, my gosh, I'm going into a spiral downward and I don't see my way out. What can the Evening Stars Barbados do for them?
We can provide knowledge. We can offer support. We can help them understand that they're not alone in the struggle. Because, I mean, my son is an adult now, and certainly being a parent, just being a regular parent can be stressful.
Yes.
All joking aside though, it can also be a source of stress to the parents and to the family, and sometimes, and this is my fear, that a lot of these children on the spectrum are simply pushed into the back room.
Correct.
You know, we don't talk about them. We just keep them. No, we can't do that. That is not right. So what we're trying to do now is provide knowledge, provide information, help the parents out there know that they are not alone. Okay, so we're working with several other organizations, and just right now we're new at this. So the first step is get it off the ground.
Right.
That's the hardest step.
Well, you've made a good step. It's a good step. And so I think, and I'll since you told your story, I'll tell mine. My nephew, my great nephew, he's just 6 years old. brilliant. Brilliant beyond belief. But over time, I've also seen the transformation in him, given the opportunities in the United States for him to be socialized differently. Social skills was his challenge, greatest challenge, really. Education, brilliant, but the social skills part had to be addressed. And because of that attention to the social skills, this is a little boy who holds my hand. I couldn't touch him before. Couldn't touch him. Don't touch.
That's huge.
And now holding hands, having conversations whenever we visit, he says, "Uncle, I've made a bed for you." I'm like, "Thank you. Thank you so much." Really, really sweet child. And I'm just saying that to say to parents, don't despair. Don't despair. With the right kind of attention to managing and understanding this child. And that's because he is in an aftercare program that allows him to have that direct focus. And I think in Barbados we need to be able to get to a point of developing that.
Yes, we are getting to that point.
We are?
And yes, because Evening Stars is more than what the eye perceives. What we are organization where we addressing that right now, where we want to be in a position where, you know, in terms of, you spoke about burnt out and parents not having the support system. What we found in Barbados, and statistics are showing that a lot of parents that have autistic children are single parent households, whereas as soon as the child born, the father somehow disappear because obviously they can't handle the burden, or it's something that they don't know how to handle.
It falls to mothers
right?
oftentimes.
Correct. So what we at Evening Stars wants to do and offer the wider population is that to have a space where they can bring their children, you know, have a time out for yourself, bring those children. We will have skilled persons on site where they be able to, you know, show social skills, teach them social skills, communication. Those are two of the big factors that we find with autistic children, right? So as long as we have trained staff that is willing to work with these children, give the mother a chance to be, you know, go somewhere and relax. You know, we know it's challenging. We know how hard it is.
The support system.
We have a support system in place, right? And we also will be providing psychological services for these parents, whereas if they need to vent, have someone to listen to them, have a shoulder to lean on, we are going to be there for them.
Break down the workshop for me, Kathy. When is it? Where is it? How can we all be a part of it?
Yeah.
Well, the workshop, the workshop is taking place on Tuesday.
This Tuesday coming?
Yes. The 24th, I think that.
Yes.
24th?
You're correct.
Some days I don't know what day it is. Sorry, guys. But Tuesday, February 24th, and it's going to be at the Rendezvous Chapel of the Church of Jesus Christ of Latter-day Saints. So that is the building at the top of the small hill, as we say. There's a sign and everything. There's a lot of, there's plenty of parking. If you look on social media for Evening Stars Barbados, then you will be able to find our social media platforms, Facebook, Instagram, you know, so take a look. You can sign up. We're asking people to register so that we have an idea of numbers and we can be properly prepared. But that is at 6 o'clock on Tuesday. Yes. Now, can I sneak in a little plug here? On the 21st, the Saturday, we're having a meetup, if you will, and this is at
Sheraton
Mall. Yes.
And then on the 28th at Haggett Hall.
At Sky Mall, yes.
So this Saturday, we can all meet up as parents, concerned citizens who want to be a part. Come and talk to Evening Stars Barbados at Sheraton Mall. Then the following Saturday, we're going to Sky Mall. You do the same thing there at Sky Mall.
Yes.
And right in the middle between of those, on Tuesday, is the workshop.
Yes.
And a workshop means come prepared to do some work.
Yes, come prepared to
share,
learn.
to learn,
to
experiment, to try,
to engage bring an open mind. Bring an open mind and a willingness to help. Because we're all, you know, I don't know, people have different belief systems. That's cool. In my belief system, God put us all on this one planet because we're supposed to get along. That's how I believe. But, so, you know, let's try and get along, help each other. You know, support these kids. I mean, look at the difference that proper support made for your nephew.
Of course.
Can you imagine what that would be like for our kids here?
Indeed.
Wouldn't that be awesome?
It would be. It truly would, because the growth I've seen in just a short space of time, the difference that it really makes him. And he's such a happier child now because he now feels understood.
Yes.
And that's so important to we all as adults and with other abilities, we all want to be understood and see our space and place. Now for the children who have autism, who feel separated from,
Correct.
who feel misheard, who feel as though nobody cares,
understands,
I just want
cares.
to push everything down. Once we create that opportunity for them, then they feel like a part of us.
And we can do so much together.
Indeed, so well said. So go online, go on your socials, look for Evening Stars Barbados. Evening Stars Barbados. Evening Stars Barbados. Spell it out. Evening Stars Barbados. Get to know a little bit more about the organization. Register for the workshop. Register for the workshop. Don't sit and ask yourselves whether or not this is for me. It is for you. And remember that workshop is on Tuesday at the Church of Jesus Christ of Latter-day Saints at the top of the small hill in Rendezvous. It's exactly there. But you see on your screen, that's where you go, because together we empower families. That's what we're seeking to do. Understanding the autism spectrum support, the behavioral strategies, and the resources for families and educators. And I'm glad you tapped on the educators, because that's important. Educators, you have children who sit in little chairs in your classroom, and sometimes you don't get it right. If you want to get it right so that you give to that child equally what you've given to the others, then come to the workshop. The workshop starts at 6 in the evening, but you need to register so that we can adequately prepare for you indeed, and to welcome you into this very open, free, harmless workshop where you learn more, you share more, you learn strategies, coping strategies, and much more for the sake of our children. And that's important indeed. Saturday, this coming Saturday, you will look for them in their t-shirts. They're going to be wearing blue anyhow, because that's the color of autism. And so we want you to come to Sheraton Mall from what time?
11
in the morning, right through
to 4.
To 4
Yes.
at Sheraton Mall this Saturday. If you walk through, don't just walk on by in the corridors. Stop and have a greater conversation with, because it might not be you today. It could be yours tomorrow. So get prepared today. And then on the following Saturday at Sky Mall, we do it again, same time, 11 to 4, where you stop and have a conversation with Evening Stars Barbados. Register folks to the workshop today. Thank you so much, Kathy.
Thank you.
And Shanika, thank you as well. You're very welcome. I want to do a follow-up if you don't mind. I'd like to hear how it goes, all right?
For sure.
Brilliant.
Absolutely.
All right, Morning Barbados takes a break right here. We're coming back in just a moment.
Morning, morning, morning. Good morning. Good morning to you.
Hey there, it's Mahalia. I want to share something that might be really helpful. If you're feeling anxious, overwhelmed, depressed, or lonely, and have no one to talk to, call Lifeline Barbados. We all face struggles at times in our lives. You're not alone. There's no need to feel ashamed or embarrassed. It's okay to reach out for support. Lifeline Barbados is completely confidential. No one else will know you called. They're there to offer a caring ear and guidance without judgment. And fellas, I want you to know asking for help is a true sign of strength. It takes real courage to reach out. You can also call Lifeline Barbados if you're worried about loved ones who are struggling and you need advice on how to support them. There's a saying, a problem shared is a problem halved, but not everyone has someone they can confide in. That's why Lifeline Barbados exists, to be there for you or someone you care about during tough times. Save this number. Lifeline Barbados is just a call away. Remember, you can reach out whenever you need to talk.
Books open your heart, your mind, and your soul. They are educational, entertaining, inspiring, and motivating. Are you an author of a recent book you want to share? Then Mornin Barbados would love to feature your book in our The Next Chapter segment. Send us an email to morninbarbados@cbc.bb. That's morning without the G. Come and let us turn those pages together.
Week after week, Scald presents exciting reports and documentaries on the most varied topics of our time. Spectacular developments and innovations, lifestyle and trends of tomorrow, mobility and tourism, health news, highlights from art and culture. Each contribution grabs the viewer with extraordinary images and stories and takes him into fascinating worlds which he experiences here exclusively and up close. We're there when companies and specialists develop super satellites for a global network in space and can look behind the scenes. Scold is a window to everything that is there or is yet to come. Fly with us through time to better understand today and tomorrow. You've always wanted that. Scold, a look into the future.
Our world today is not the world God wants it to be. One of the reasons, which will surprise many, is that our planet, its governments, and its peoples are all living under the weight of Satan's rule. From the beginning of mankind's existence to today, human history is the written record of what it means to live under the rule of the devil. Yet that rule is coming to an end, and what a difference that will make.
Every Sunday at 9 a.m. on CBC TV 8, tune in for Tomorrow's World, sponsored by the Living Church of God.
Some ask, what makes Barbados so special? We at Mornin Barbados say it's you, our exceptional youth. You are talented, resilient, and inspirational. You are the epitome.
Morning, morning, morning. Good morning. Good morning to you.
Firstly, good morning to the lovely ladies of Atlantic Shores in Christchurch. Good morning, ladies. Have yourselves a great day. Thank you for watching. Norma and her posse. Good morning indeed. All right. Allison Daisley is so connected in so many different ways. She designs, she writes, she inspires. She's just so crafty in a good way. And so, Allison, good morning to you.
Good morning to you.
You operate something called You're So Connected.
Yes, please.
Why did you come up with that name?
Well, I wanted something that would be catchy, so I wanted to use the word soul in a creative and different way. So then I originally was just using the name as Alisu Connections. So I changed it then and I kept the connection, so then it became You're So Connected.
It's really lovely. So you're a seamstress. How would you describe yourself?
Well, I probably wouldn't describe myself as a seamstress at all, although that technically is what I do, but it's more from the creative end for me. So I think of myself as more of a designer.
How then would you, because a designer is there are people who design wedding gowns, there are people who design whatever. Where's your passion in design?
Well, I am interested in a lot of aspects. I have more experience with the African wear, but I do have an interest in other areas. I would like to do a wedding. I did a wedding gown before, but it was just a traditional gown. I would like to do an African themed wedding gown, because I do like the way the African culture embraces the colors and those elements, with the big sleeves and stuff like that. So I would love to incorporate that into other things.
And in the African, because you brought along some samples of what you do, and so, but they're not just the colors alone, but their shapes as well that would inspire you to do so. And your son is your biggest muse. He is the one who inspires you and pushes you at the same time as well. So talk to me a little bit about how he responds when you do what you do.
Well, he is very supportive and very positive. He will come and he will say he has some place that he needs to go and he's going to need something to wear, and you should see how he will come rubbing his hands and, Mommy, so I got something to wear. And so usually when he is like that, I was just, so what are you looking at? He said, I want it to be different. I want it to stand though. I want when people see me that they're like, you, that fella look good though. So then that's how it normally would start with him. Because one of those pieces is something he wore to an activity, and it's right across from me over there, the color. I'm bad with colors. That is, it's kind of like a tannish, cakey-ish color with the burgundy, is a burgundy kind of a sash light that's attached to the shoulder, and then the African print is on the shoulder and around the arms. So
deciding what it is, and the combination of colors, the shapes and so forth, how do you go about that process?
Well, the process varies. In this particular instance, I did not know what I was going to do. We went to town and he chose this color, or I think I chose this color. Yeah, I think I was by myself when I chose this particular color for the main fabric. And I said, man, I know that I have to have something home that will go back with this. So when I went and I searched, I found these other ones and I looked at it and said, yes, this color will go back. Yeah.
Yes. Did you have formal training, or how do you do it freehand? How do you construct the items? And this is the piece that we're talking about right here. How do you go about constructing this?
So what well, this in particular.
So you just measure and that's all?
Yeah, I measure him, and then what I normally will tend to do is I will create a pattern. So I have a pattern.
Sure.
I have a pattern here. It's just a basic pattern that I will draft.
Right.
Because sometimes even after drafting the pattern, I will turn around and make changes on the actual fabric. So what I did here is I cut this part out. This is the front of it. So this is the arm part here, and this shorter piece is where the neck will go. So kind of like that. This was made for my younger son.
Right.
And then the back is basically the same type of cut, but you can see the neck is lower because the back will fit higher.
And all of this you do to measurement. So you know if the shoulder length is such, then you have to measure, make sure that you cut in the right places.
Yes, please.
Ooh.
Right, and then
do people do a lot of patterns anymore?
I am not sure what other people's process might be.
But this is yours.
But this is my process. I try to cut on the paper first to make certain that any errors I make on the paper and I don't spoil the fabric.
Correct. And then you set the pattern down on the fabric and you cut to suit.
Yes, please.
And then you get on your sewing machine and take it from there. And so generally, that's your process.
Yes.
So if I were to come to you today and say, I need something to wear at the weekend because there's this formal function I want to attend, fabric and pattern. That's how you do it.
Yes, please.
You don't freestyle, look at me and say, okay, size 32 waist. And that's
No, I don't do that.
Okay.
I'm sure probably somebody out there might do that, but no, I prefer, because for me, I think the fit is very important. And I might look at you and gauge that, yeah, you might wear a size 32 or you might wear a small or medium. I might be able to gauge that. But then in cutting, because I want it to fit you a specific way, I want to make sure that I have your measurements down pat.
How long have you been doing this now, Allison? These are your whole life, right?
Well, yes, because I came up seeing my mother making clothes. And we used to go by a friend of hers who also used to make clothes. So seeing the sewing and things like that is something that was part of my growing up. And I always wanted to get into fashion and design and things like that. So
and now here you are.
Yes.
You're so connected. So a piece of the jacket we just shared first, how long would that take you to finish?
This, it varies. If I have a day that I can work steady, I will be able to finish it that same day. But if it's a case where I have
yeah, it's a case where you have
other things going on, then I might not necessarily be able to finish it as quickly as I would like, because I also work during the day.
Okay,
so
yes,
if I'm
that's
relying
right.
on my evenings to come in and do it, I might have an evening where I come in kind of late, and I might start late, and then I still have to get some sleep for the next day. So then it would span me like a few days and so on.
Yeah.
But usually when people say that they want something done, I normally ask them, when they'll need it by, so I will know how much time I have to work with.
You brought a piece that's in progress.
Yes,
it's
please.
just to your right behind you there.
Yes.
This piece that's in progress now is a piece that is this your son's request as well, or is this a client?
No, this is for my son.
Okay.
Yeah, this is for my son. Actually, what I have here with me, this is the same pattern that
The one we just showed?
That I just showed, yes. What I did, like I said, this was my younger son. So Sunday is going to be African Awareness at our church. And so what I did is I'm working on the pieces. I cut out the pieces, so you see it's the same
Yes.
material, just different colors that I will be using. And so I can show you how we'd normally assemble. This is the sleeve here. And
then to test it, you use it, because I see designers doing this a lot, use your common pins, as we say it, and you pin it up, right?
well, I tend to cheat. I brought the pin so that I could.
Forgive her.
I brought the pin so that I could show you, but generally speaking, I don't like a lot of pinning. I get very impatient, so I don't pin. But you really should, if you're doing it and you want to make sure it's properly done.
Yes.
So you would have seen from the pattern that I showed you.
Yes, that piece
the
you
same
cut on that
cut.
side.
So this is the front on one side. If I was going to do just a pullover shirt, I would have left it whole. Like how I have done for the back.
Right.
I put it on along the fold, so you have the whole back here.
Right.
But the front piece, because I want it to be a case where it buttons over, I did it in half, and then because it's gonna button and lap over, this piece here now is gonna sit.
Or just where it crosses there.
Right. So.
Yes.
This is the preferred design here, and. So the two front pieces are going to be like that, and it will lap over like how a shirt will button. So what I have here is an example of when I put it together,
how it will
kind of fall. So you have, see how it folds back?
Yes.
Right. So then it's going to fold over here.
Oh, this is fantastic,
Right.
Allison.
And button down.
Yes. That is really, really good. Well done. And then these pieces, you just sew them into the fabric? The bits and pieces on the sides that you did to embellish?
Yeah, you do.
Okay.
Because what I did, if you look at this one, because this one is constructed, so it's easy to
part
show.
of the fabric. That's what
you
it looks
see, this
like.
is see, I have the extra pieces here because I want it to have that particular design. So this is extra material here that I have sewn onto the bottom out of the main fabric. So the sleeve is actually two colors, and then I reversed it on this side. See?
Right. Wow.
Right.
Work, girl, that's work. That is work. No doubt that's why it costs. So for someone watching today who is saying, oh, I like what Allison, You're So Connected, is able to do, and they want to contact you, how can they do so?
My contact number is 231-5197.
231-5197.
Yes.
231-5197. She's Allison Daisley. You're So Connected is the name of her company, her business. And so you've been doing this for a little while. So she was a little girl watching her mother do what she does. And here it is now. She's now in her moment, living her dream and expressing it through design. Do you generally do for men, generally? I know you want to tackle a bridal gown at some point, that kind of thing. But generally for men, or you... Doesn't matter?
It doesn't matter. In all honestly, would you believe that I would tell you that it was not my preference to make for men? It's just that because I was making for my son, and so I went through the whole, because I'm pretty much self-taught. So because I wanted to be able to give him different styles, the schools have the African Awareness Day and things like that, is how I ended up doing for men. So now I have gotten to the point where I can actually craft a man's pants and things like that.
Yeah.
But that came about, as I said, through doing for my son.
So God blessed you with sons, so that he pushed you that way indeed. So well done, Allison. Well done. Well done indeed. You're so connected. Find her on socials. You are so connected. You're so connected. And reach out. And Allison can make that African dream of an African printed outfit for you come true in a matter of moments, indeed. She says that in some instances she can finish it in a day, depending on her schedule. Some might take a little bit longer, but she is so meticulous in what she does. You are guaranteed to have a piece, a masterpiece at the end of it all. So Allison, thank you again. Great work.
Thank you too.
You're very welcome. Morning Barbados breaks right here. We're coming back in a moment.
Morning, morning, morning. Good morning. Good morning to you.
Some ask, what makes Barbados so special? We at Mornin Barbados say it's you, our exceptional youth. You are talented, resilient, and inspirational. You are the epitome of the Barbadian spirit, testing the boundaries of your creativity. If you are an entrepreneur, artist, baker, designer, author, or have done anything you think should be highlighted, email us at morninbarbados@cbc.bb. Let us show the world our exceptional Bajan youth.
From the beautiful shores of the gem of the Caribbean, Barbados, home of the amazing Harrison's Cave, the tantalizing Oystins Bay Garden, our historic garrison, the indigenous road tennis, and the friendliest people in the world. We are 94.7 FM, the ultimate Bajan experience.
There is a saying, you can find a big
Morning, morning. Good morning. Good morning to you.
Let's look at the news now. Local fisherfolk are on edge following reports of a deadly United States military strike in regional waters last Friday. While that incident did not occur in Barbados maritime space, concerns are mounting among those who depend on the Caribbean Sea for their livelihoods. We get more in this report from Deanza Roberts.
The strike, described as a United States military operation targeting suspected drug traffickers, occurred in the Caribbean waters. The wreckage of the boat was found off Canoan, one of the islands of St. Vincent and the Grenadines. Prime Minister of St. Lucia, Philip G. Peer, confirmed on Monday that lives were lost and amid speculation that among the dead were St. Lucians. He said his government is actively engaging diplomatic and security channels, verifying the facts. But here in Barbados, the development has struck a nerve. When CBC News visited the Bridgetown Fish Market, several fisherfolk voiced unease about increased military activity in regional waters. They worry that legitimate seafarers could be placed at risk. This fisherman declined to speak on camera, but was vocal about how he felt after the latest strike.
I feel very annoyed. I don't like it because this is the Caribbean. We is warned. And if it happened to St. Lucia, it happened to we. It's not right that Trump left all the way in America and come down in the Caribbean water and gets blowing up things. Huh? Our fishermen got to be careful now, very careful. Because when they blow it, we Caribbean boats out the water. We ain't got nobody to represent me. Who we going to complain to? We complain government doing anything? Huh? We got to come together. Huh? One hand don't clap, two hands is clap. We got to come together.
Fisherman Wayne Rose also expressed frustration over the situation and urged boat owners to be cautious when heading out to sea.
If them solid pick up a boat moving fast, they ain't sure if it's a drug boat or not. So they can lose their life at any time. So I always know that is going to come to pass sometime or other. Just be careful out there and fish closer to home and don't try to go too far out in sea. And keep out the American. They don't bear fruitness. They should not blow them out in water.
Boat Captain Malcolm Thompson believes those working the waters should consider alternative routes and exercise greater caution.
The advice mariners would be to be extra cautious, know where you're going to fish. Yeah, understand the areas where the activity is taking place, so try to avoid those areas. The ocean is a big, wide open space. Try new fishing grounds and see if that could work for you, because you don't want to be a victim of a circumstance that you have no control over.
Efforts to reach President of the Barbados National Union of Fisherfolk Organizations, Vernell Nichols, were unsuccessful up to news time. Reporting for CBC News, I'm Deanza Roberts.
A $1.9 million investment has been made to boost the emergency response at Barbados Airport. A new crash tender was yesterday added to the Barbados Fire Service fleet at the Grantley Adams International Airport, and another is on its way and expected to be here in a matter of few months. Here's Anesta Henry with a report.
New Minister of Home Affairs and Information Gregory Nichols says the upgrade is long overdue. The crash tenders currently in operation have been in service since 2001, well beyond the recommended lifespan, and kept running through the dedication of teams at the airport and the Barbados Fire Service.
The idea is that you don't buy all of them one time, because if you buy all of them one time, you have to replace all of them at the same time. So you stagger them. So we have two at the first instance, and then we will look at the replacement of the other tenders in due course. But we will have two brand new ones in existence, along with the others that are here working at the airport.
The new tender features modern battery-operated equipment, a first for the service. It's designed to make operations faster, safer, and more efficient. Fire officers have already been trained to handle the upgraded systems.
It's really an amazing vehicle. It's powered by almost all of the gadgets by electric power, so that we are always conscious of our need to preserve the environment and not to add to carbon emissions. And a lot of the technology is up to date, and really pleased with this tender, and I'm sure that a lot of young people will get the experience to see what you do here at the fire service, an important service here at the airport, and hopefully that we can get a lot more young people interested in the Barbados Fire Service and the work that is done in that regard.
Minister Nichols says the manpower needs of the Barbados Fire Service are currently being met, with further assessments expected in the next financial year.
Well, obviously there's a target, there's a cap, and we try to make sure we get to that cap so that we will not have any issues, because there's things like sickness or vacations and so forth for people on study leave or whatever reason that they might not be at work. But the complement right now is adequate enough to service Barbados needs, but there is also room for improvement, and we are going to try to make sure that we meet all of those targets during the course of the next financial year.
Chief Fire Officer Errol Maynard was pleased to see government had fulfilled its promise to deliver the tender.
We know that at the airport it is critical that we have the relevant equipment working properly, that we can respond within 90 seconds in which we are supposed to respond at this airport to any emergency that we get. Just a few weeks ago, you will remember we had an emergency at the airport, and the crash tenders, not this new one that we are commissioning today, but the other crash tenders responded efficiently, although they are well over 25 years. So that was heartening that we have a fleet of vehicles that can respond, but they're getting old, and therefore we need to replace them.
The Barbados Fire Service's Airport Fire and Rescue Station now has 4 crash tenders. Onesta Henry, CBC News.
Senator Christopher Sinclair has stepped into his new role as Senior Minister, Foreign Affairs and Foreign Trade. He was greeted by staff as he arrived at his Culloden Road, St. Michael office yesterday morning, officially marking his first day on the job. The minister acknowledged that he has his work cut out for him as he's coming in at a time of global uncertainty and shifting geopolitical positions. He says strengthening Barbados' bilateral and diplomatic relationships will be priority.
About foreign policy is that across institutions, across parties, across time and decade, the foreign policy remains basically constant and consistent. Of course, we adjust as we must, given the international circumstances that we have to deal with from time to time, but our core principles remain. So those will not be altered because they're strong philosophical and principled positions, but adjustable and flexible.
The former finance minister in the Democratic Labour Party administration also previously served as Minister of Foreign Affairs, Foreign Trade and International Business in 2008. And now he's back. His first order of business is to reacquaint himself with the officers.
As I said, I was at the IDB and, as a full-time consultant and working on a particular project which is of importance to the Caribbean too. And I wish my colleagues there all the best as they carry on that work. And I actually thought I was out of the space permanently, but life throws you many curveballs, or as we would say in cricket, many a googly. You have to be able to know how to sometimes go on the front foot and play, sometimes go on the back foot and play, other times to judge the ball and let it pass. On this occasion, it's coming directly at me, so I have to go on the front foot and, as the Prime Minister says, score some runs.
The umbrella body for trade unions in Barbados is calling on the government to give it a voice in the Senate. General Secretary of the Congress of Trade Unions and Staff Associations of Barbados, Dennis DePisa, believes there should also be a representative from the private sector in the upper house. He addressed the issue at a press conference yesterday.
CUSAB contends that there is room for the inclusion of a Labour representative to be nominated by the umbrella body to serve in the Senate of Barbados. Inasmuch as the Constitution provides for sectors to be represented in the Senate of Barbados, there is no logical reason why CUSAB as a representative of workers and the Barbados Private Sector Association as a representative of the employers should not be invited by the President to each nominate an independent senator.
With the general elections over, Mr. DePisa says CUSAB is eagerly looking forward to the start of negotiations on a new 2-year wages and salaries package for the public service employees. He says the Congress, which represents 10 member organizations, expects that government will make a generous offer to these workers. Sports now. All Saints and Reynold Weeks Primary Schools shared the top honours when the Anton Norris zone of the 2026 Chef Foods NAPSA Championships took centre stage yesterday at the Usain Bolt Sports Complex. All Saints won the girls with 280 points ahead of Hillaby Turner's Hall and Reynold Weeks, both on 206, and Arthur Smith ending on 112, Welch's 92. In the boys, Reynold Weeks reigned supreme with 290 to Arthur Smith's 156, All Saints 155, Welch's 131, Cuthbert Moore 102. 7 records fell on the day. Anmar Goodwich Boyce reports.
Day 3 of NAPSA 2026 brought together the athletes competing in the Anton Norris zone. Under 13 girls 100 meters to start, and this race was all about a my command goal. The athlete representing All Saints slammed the field in 14.54 seconds. Araya Harris of Arthur Smith was second, with Fairley Hudworrell of Welch's third. A look at the boys now, off to a pretty good start, but on the inside the fluorescent green track boots were punishing the track. Watch the gap, because Ethan Best of Reynold Weeks took care of the rest of the field. 14.54 seconds, the winning time. Dimitri Worrell of All Saints was second, and third went to Shaquem Clark of Cuthbert Moore. Moving along to the under-11s, girls up first, and you can bet that Janaya Barrow will be in that number when the All Saints go marching in. What an impressive victory. She took her opponents to church on Ash Wednesday and delivered the Bible study in 14.97 seconds. Boys equivalent followed pretty even in the early stages, but on the outside, Aidan Belgrave of All Saints was showing the best form, but he was clipped on the line by Kamari Sandiford of St. Joseph Primary in 15.11. Belgrave of All Saints was second, while Shaquan Thomas of Hillaby Turner's Hall was third. Down to the under-9s, and it was clear that All Saints brought their A game from the north to the west. Make some room for Anaya Clark. What a demolition job it was. The time, 16.23. Rosaria Swain of Hillaby Turner's Hall took the runners-up spot, with third going to Rihanna Craigwell of Deacons Primary. Final race on our highlights, the under-9 boys to bring the curtain down on the 100-meter series. And the winner came from lane 5, Giovanni Lucas Hemmings of Reynold Weeks in 16.01. Jerome Bovell of Deacons Primary was second, and Caden Goddard of All Saints third. Anmar Goodrich Boyce, CBC Sports.
Thanks, Amar. Well, the schools are on midterm break, and so the zonal meets will resume next week, Tuesday. Morning Barbados takes a break right here. We're coming back with more in a moment.
Morning, morning, morning. Good morning. Good morning to you.
There is a saying, you can find a Bajan anywhere. Are you a Bajan living abroad? Or do you know of one who has migrated to another country? Well, we at Mornin Barbados would love to have you or them on our Bajan Afar segment. Share your amazing stories, experiences, and how you have adapted to a new culture. Send us an email to morninbarbados@cbc.vb, and together we will travel the world.
God will not give you a job. God will not call you to do something and then not give you the capacity to have it, to make it happen. He will give you the resources, he'll give you the people. Not only will he equip you with ideas, but he will equip you with favor, as he did Nehemiah.
Turn on the latest episode of Infinite Possibilities, only on CBC TV 8, every Sunday at 1:30 p.m., sponsored by Covenant Life Teaching Center.
Welcome to Nature's Discount, the ultimate health food store. At Nature's Discount, we have thousands of quality products at great prices.
Hi guys, Dottie here with Nature's Discount, and today we are talking about solar ray, microbiome, probiotics, and why you should be taking them.
And we have well over 3,000 amazing products to help you get healthy.
For your health tips, tune in to CBC TV 8 every Monday, Tuesday, and Thursday for Nature's Discount, sponsored by Get Healthy Incorporated.
98.1 The One, your number one party station. With an audience from 18 to 40, we keep you engaged, energized, and entertained. Choose 98.1 FM, The One.
Hey there, it's Mahalia. I want to share something that might be really helpful.
Morning, morning, morning. Good morning. Good morning to you.
10 minutes now after 7 o'clock here on Morning Barbados. I am absolutely thrilled. At the beginning of the show, I told you that the Holetown Festival continues. And so, yes, they'll have the tours. Yes, they'll have the talks. Yes, they'll have the liming tents. Yes, they'll have the street fairs. Yes, they'll have the classic cars. Yes, it is on. But also on Sunday in the St. James, I keep saying James Street, in the St. James Parish Church is another opportunity for you to enjoy the brilliance of the Holetown Harmonites. The Holetown Harmonites were formed in 1992, and they play classical music primarily and wonderful works of the composers as well. But I'm not going to talk about your business for them. They're here with me. Tony Simpson, she is the president of the Holetown Harmonites, and this young man, Jonathan Nurse, I'll say he's a first soprano player of the pan. the pan known as the first soprano. Yes. Welcome to Morning Barbados, first of all.
you.
Tony, let's talk a little bit, first of all, about the history and the contribution, because your contribution is legendary to the landscape in music in Barbados of the Holetown Harmonites.
So we are a classical steel orchestra, I think the only one in Barbados. And it started in about 1992, I'm aging myself here, under the aegis of the Holetown Methodist Church. Our organist there, Morris Greenidge, better known as Uncle Teddy, who is also a historian.
And composer.
Yes. He and the men's fellowship at the Holetown Methodist Church wanted to do an outreach, and the gentlemen of the men's fellowship purchased a set of pans, and that is where the Holetown Harmonites began. It started as a summer camp, and I am happy to say that most of us are still in the orchestra from that time. So we have grown together, we've become a family, we've had kids, all of those things, and we continue to play this classical music. Our music is different in that it is transposed. So Uncle Teddy believed that, and he's right, everybody knows the first 8 letters of the alphabet. And so he developed a notation system, because I can't read music, but Jonathan is a musician. Joy, our arranger, is a musician, and David is also a musician. The rest of us, we don't read music per se. And so Uncle Teddy developed this notation system with the alphabet, dots and dashes to represent quavers and crotchets and those types of things.
There we go.
Right? And so that is how we play. So if you look at our music, it looks like gibberish. It's very different. but we understand it. And if you wanted to come and learn to play steel pan, Jonathan or David would teach you.
Right.
And you would read that music and be able to play all of these beautiful works of music just like we can.
And you play it with such vigor and fervor and fun. And I think that's what draws the audience into your performances every single time.
Yes.
I know in 2000, Teddy would have done his own composition you performed then, and a few years later, another one of his compositions, his overtures really.
Yes.
And it's been brilliantly received. You've traveled, you've done so much, and the name still exists, ladies and gentlemen. Yes, the Holetown Harmonites are still performing and still doing wonderful things. And so, Jonathan, how did you get involved? You're not one of the founder members.
Of course not. So I started in 2011. Initially, I went to Panini Plaza Camp, which happened in Queen's Park. Through that connection of Kenny Gill, I was connected to the Holetown Harmonites. So again, summer camp, that's how I started. And it was every year for a little bit. Actually, no, I lie. The first year, the first year, I guess it clicked for me. And from then on, since 2011 until now, I've been playing with them. So that's about 15 years. Yeah.
Because you could have chosen to play pan with the secular music, the other kinds of music, but there's something about what the Holetown Harmonite does through classical music that attracts you. What is it?
So I would say that from young, I had a kind of ear for different types of music. So my father used to play like Boys to Men, gospel music, anything like that. So I guess from there, I guess my palette was open.
Yes.
And because of the environment that I was in, and I guess the tutelage of Uncle Teddy, it was just easy to like it.
And so there are gentlemen, young boys, young men who look like you, who are your age. I want you to talk to them to tell them why they should come on Sunday and not looking at this as boring pieces of music, but actually inspiring pieces of music.
Yeah. So the thing is about classical music, it tells a story. And I know that we all look for stories. We all look for a narrative to follow. And there are different ways to express that, right? So the way that we might see it in mainstream media, or when we go on Instagram or the cases, might not be suited to you, but there are other facets and dimensions that you could go through. So keep your palette open, and it's a part of the culture in a sense too. Yeah. So come and enjoy.
I keep saying, come taste and see. You will
never know.
You will fall in love immediately.
Definitely.
And as I was saying to you, Tony, this all happens this coming Sunday at the St. James Parish Church.
Yes.
I keep getting that wrong.
Yes.
St. James Parish Church. What time does it start?
It starts at 6 p.m. sharp. And we start within a monastery garden, very fitting in the St. James Parish Church garden by Kettleby. And we go through works by Mozart, Vivaldi, Tchaikovsky, Bingay, Rossini. And this year we are not playing it, but in previous years, as you mentioned, we played Uncle Teddy's Holetown Symphony. He's written a Holetown Symphony and a Bridgetown Symphony in ode to those cities. But this year we will not be playing that. However, we will be playing the Barber of Seville for the young people from Bugs Bunny.
Yes.
And it is a beautiful piece of music that the orchestra has mastered. And it will be delightful to hear on the steel pan.
So folks, you really got to come. Do we pay at the door?
Tickets are available at the door.
Right.
They are $30. And if you wish, you can also purchase tickets from the Holetown Festival booth.
Right, and that's right outside of Massey.
Yes.
So once you go to just outside of Massey, you'll see the booth, you buy your tickets there, but you can come on Sunday, you pay at the door as well. We will not return or refuse anybody.
No.
Because music is a language that I think we will all enjoy. And pan music, you can imagine the sound of classical music. In pan, it is magical. The sound of the composers, the great composers like Mozart, Vivaldi, Rossini. In pan, but these youngsters, it is going to be brilliant indeed. And so, do you have guest performers as well?
We do have a guest performer. I'm not going to say who he is, but he is
Jonathan,
a young budding
I can't say no.
pianist. He's a young budding pianist. He's only 17 years old. And he will be playing 2 pieces for us. But to hear the story of this young pianist, you must come on Sunday.
Wow.
You must come on Sunday.
Must come. This is going to be magical, transforming St. James Parish Church in a way you've never seen or heard it before through the playing and the brilliance of our young people of Barbados, and the Holetown Harmonites will be happy to present it to you. Look at your screen, folks. That's what we're talking about right there. It's under the aegis of the Holetown Festival Committee, and you really should not miss it. The warmth of a Barbadian spring or summer, that's the experience that's awaiting all of you. Tradition is we pack out the church. Yes. So tradition, we want to maintain as well. So come early and get your favorite spot and enjoy this. It's really going to be a delightful evening for you to enjoy indeed. And so the Holetown Harmonites, are you in rehearsal, no doubt?
Yes, we are. We have our grand rehearsal on Saturday where we will continue to perfect all of our pieces, and our rehearsals are filled with such laughter and joy and
I can
happiness.
Tell Jonathan says that.
Yes, our rehearsals are, and as he's saying, action, ACKSHUN, action. But our rehearsals are fantastic, and I want to give a special shout out to Joy, Dr. Joy Roach. Joy has taken over the reins of arranging our music, and she is currently glued to the television. So good morning, Joy. And she is doing a brilliant job, along with David Headley, who is a music teacher at the Coleridge and Parish School. He is also, he assists with the arrangement. And I also want to shout out, if permitted, Roxanne Roach. Roxanne is Joy's sister. She's our lead alto player, and she was the first person in the Caribbean to do CXC music with the steel pan. So you have to come and see her on Sunday.
This is going to be brilliant. You're looking forward to this, no doubt, Jonathan.
Of course.
Of course. How many pan players are there in Holetown Harmonites?
11.
11? And create that big sound?
Yes. And we are unique in that we just have 1 6 bass, 1 3 bass, we have cellos, and then we have 4 sopranos,
4 sopranos,
and 3 alto pans. So relatively by Trinidadian standards, we are a tiny orchestra.
Yes.
Small band almost,
But y'all look real good. Really good.
Thank you.
And so because they're so good, we can't miss it. It's this Sunday starting at 6 o'clock. St. James Parish Church is where you need to be. Get there early, get your space, get your spot. You can go to the ticket booth just outside of Massey in Holetown to get your $30 ticket. Or you can come to the door on Sunday and you pay your $30 indeed, because all of this goes to supporting the work of these musicians. They're excited to play for you, the composers, and all under the baton and the expert direction of the one and only Maurice Greenwich, Uncle Teddy, who has been in this for so long. He's given back in so many different ways. You've come to know the brilliance of Uncle Teddy, and so show up for Uncle Teddy as well, but show up for music on the pan in a way you've never heard it before. And given I've seen the program, and there are some brilliant pieces there that are going to leave you smiling, nodding, just closing your eyes and immersing yourself in the moment, and you will walk away feeling so good and so glad that you were there for that moment. So don't miss it. It's this Sunday, all part of the Holetown Festival. As a matter of fact, for me, it brings to an end the Holetown Festival in a very classy way. So we want you to dress up nicely and come. If you don't have a nice dress, still come. It's going to be all right to see you there at St. James Parish Church. Tony, again, thank you to you and your whole committee and all of the members of the Holetown Harmonites. Well done.
Thank you.
Keep it up. Don't ever grow tired. Jonathan, don't grow tired. Don't grow tired. Look for some other young men like yourself, and get them involved in it and show them the benefit of the discipline of music and what music does for the soul. It does tremendous things for the soul. But thank you both.
Thank you for having us.
You're welcome. There it is, folks. So what are you doing on Sunday evening? What are you doing Sunday evening? 6 o'clock, St. James Parish Church. That's where we're going. Mornin Barbados is back right after this.
Morning, morning, morning. Good morning. Good morning to you.
Week after week, Scold presents exciting reports and documentaries on the most varied topics of our time. Spectacular developments and innovations, lifestyle and trends of tomorrow, mobility and tourism, health news, highlights from art and culture. Each contribution grabs the viewer with extraordinary images and stories and takes him into fascinating worlds which he experiences here exclusively and up close. We're there when companies and specialists develop super satellites for a global network in space and can look behind the scenes. Scold is a window to everything that is there or is yet to come. Fly with us through time to better understand today and tomorrow. You've always wanted that. Scold, a look into the future.
Our world today is not the world God wants it to be. One of the reasons, which will surprise many, is that our planet, its governments, and its peoples are all living under the weight of Satan's rule. From the beginning of mankind's existence to today, human history is the written record of what it means to live under the rule of the devil. Yet that rule is coming to an end, and what a difference that will make.
Every Sunday at 9 a.m. on CBC TV 8, tune in for Tomorrow's World, sponsored by the Living Church of God.
Some ask, what makes Barbados so special? We at Mornin Barbados say it's you, our exceptional youth. You are talented, resilient, and inspirational. You are the epitome of the Barbadian spirit, testing the boundaries of your creativity. If you are an entrepreneur, artist, baker, designer, author, or have done anything you think should be highlighted, email us at morninbarbados@cbc.bb. Let us show the world our exceptional Bajan youth.
The teams make the walk here in Port of Spain. We will step aside for a moment, and then we will have the lineups and the kickoff following anthems here in Port of Spain. These are in yellow with the blue trim. They'll be kicking us off going from left to right. St. Martin are in predominantly red kits. Widows have the lead inside of a minute. Wow! Slides it through beautifully. Oh, that's going to go in. Wonderful finish off a brilliant bit of build-up. That's exactly what we were talking about. Or can Aiden James keep St. Martin just about in touching distance? The penalty is converted.
That was that match against St. Martin. We were so excited about it. We showed that on Morning Barbados, would you believe it? We were happy, really thrilled. That's the Barbados under-17 football team in Trinidad and Tobago, competing as they were seeking qualification in CONCACAF. And so with me is the coach, Marlon Hart, and the captains, both of them sharing captaincy, in Khalik Lashley and Ruben Garns Aline. Gentlemen all, good morning.
Good morning.
Well done.
Thank you.
But how did you do?
Yeah, we did good. We were ranked about 20th out of 41 teams in CONCACAF. We beat Trinidad, who was ranked higher than us. And then we beat both the St. Martins, St. Martin, the Dutch side and the French side. So we got 9 points, and then we came up against Mexico. We fell short on that instance, but they're number 1 in CONCACAF. So we're really excited about the kind of direction our football is going. And also very proud to work with these youngsters, you know, who show not only incredible talent, but leadership and other things that you want from a young man.
Leadership aside, what else do you think accounted for the success of the team in that last tournament?
I think it's discipline. I think it's commitment to the task. We've been together from about October, so we had a whole trial period. That was an opportunity for me to see not only their ability to play, but kind of measure where they are mentally in terms of their preparation, how they see themselves, which is important for the overall picture. Because, you know, when you play teams like Mexico, you have to be resilient, all right, and that comes from the individual as well. So all these things we were looking for. So very happy with the team that was selected, and also definitely happy with the performances that they had.
Finding those members of that team, what process did you undertake to find them?
Yeah, we had, like I said, trial periods. So we had specific days for specific clubs to come in and showcase themselves. They played games against each other. And, you know, you're looking for the tactical stuff, you know, the ability. Can he run? Can he move? Also, you're looking at, you know, how does he handle disappointment? You know, will he sulk and feel bad, or will he get back up and go again? So those were important for me.
And so you spent months coaching.
Yeah.
And for you, coaching was not just about the ability to kick the ball and hit a goal.
Correct.
It encompassed so much more. And you've seen that growth in these young men.
Yeah.
What do you see as their potential overall?
Bro, I told them already, you know, the tournament for me was to show the world essentially what I already knew, right? I expect a number of these guys to go on to play professionally because they take their football very seriously. They have the physical attributes, the mental attributes that they will go on and represent this country very well.
Khalik, what did it mean to you to know that you were picked? Out of all the teams that came to audition, so to speak, you were one of those who made the final cut in the under-17 team. What did that mean to you, first of all?
Well, I was very proud of myself. Felt good that I was able to make everybody happy around me. But yeah, it was a very good situation.
What's your position on the field?
Goalkeeper.
So my man, that's not easy. So were you goalkeeping when Mexico got a little bit over us?
Yes, please.
You remember that moment?
Yes, please.
Is it unforgettable?
Every moment in football is unforgettable for me.
All right, good answer. So what was it that happened? What happened that Mexico got past you?
Well, I just believe that it just got a little chance, got a little shot. Stunned by it, I would say, but I like the way that we recovered. It's not football things happen, but I like the way that we recovered quick, and we were able to settle ourselves. Unfortunately, didn't get the win, but it was still enough against the number 1 ranked team in under-17 football.
So how did you settle yourself? I mean, you feel, as we say in Barbados, you feel stink. you feel as if you've just let the team down. Did you feel that way?
For a certain part of the game, yeah, but like I couldn't stress on it because as the last man at the back, so if I keep on stressing on it, I can't let in no more goals.
And your coach taught you all of that?
Yes, please.
Your coach taught you all of that. And so you work with a team of young men who are just as talented as yourself. Yes, you know, and it's not just because the game is not just you, the goalkeeper. There's so many other players along the way who are strategizing as it goes. Talk to me about working through strategy, so that you see when you stand in your goal bars, you're seeing the fellas are doing exactly what we talked about.
Well, first off, it came from me trusting them, number 1, because the team that was selected, that the coach selected, was a very good team. So for the get-go, all the guys knew the memo, what we had to do, where we had to go. So I would say the job was easier for me. I would say that for sure. Still communicated though, so I would say they had to do a lot, but it was still enough that we were able to get the 3 wins.
You know, you have a view and in the goal bars of the play that the fellows who are playing on the field, running behind the ball, do not. Does that help you in your ability to strategize as a captain?
Yes, please. So, they say a lot of games, all the guys will be able to tell you that I always talking. So, so I was always communicating, just making sure everybody knew, like, yeah, we gotta get behind the ball, we gotta keep there, we gotta keep focused, making sure that everybody knew what we had to do. And so said, so done.
Well done indeed. Ruben, you share captaincy with Khalik.
Yes, please.
Do you guys sit together and say, okay, Khalik, come, this is what we will do, and agree to what is the strategy? Or do you, on the day, assume the captain's role and just do what you have to do?
No, please. We have, there's 4 captains in the team, and we have like our meetings where we sit down and strategize what we will do throughout the game.
Yeah. What part do you play? What's your position?
Midfield.
So you do a lot of running?
Yes, please.
You have a lot of running to do. And how do you, as a captain, do all of that running and still see the bigger picture?
Well, I really just try to visualize the reward after the game. So I just, it's not really, it's an any moment thing for me, yeah.
But you know, emotions run high in a game. And sometimes you feel as though the whistle was blown on you for something that really ain't your fault. And your job as captain is going to calm that moment, because you don't want any fouls, you don't want anybody getting a yellow card or even a red card. So that means that there's a lot that's required of you as a captain. Talk to me about that heavy responsibility for all the other fellas on the team and how you keep them motivated to come, let's get back on track and go.
Well, I have a strategy that Coach Carl taught me. Park bad moments and just focus on what's important in the moment and work on the present and focus on the future to basically teach the guys to take accountability for their actions and just leave it and move on.
Which for you was the most formidable team to play against in the CONCACAF?
Mexico.
Because?
Because they're ranked #1 in CONCACAF. So it was
That's just a ranking? You
but,
know, right?
Yeah, I know, but they're also a tough team in general. Most of the guys play professional football, so they play football all year round.
So how did that feel then as a team, knowing that you are not the professional, but that team has professionals? How did you manage that?
Well, professional is just when you sign the contract, but there's really no range in the talent that we have and that they have. We're better than them, but they're just professionals.
And that's the way I feel about it too. The same way, they're just like you. You have the same equal skills just as they. And so the first game, was it the first game where you beat St. Martin?
No, that was the second game.
Trinidad was the first game?
Yeah,
Trinidad. And you beat Trinidad on home soil.
Yeah.
No doubt there were some people in the stands who were not pleased about that. But after all, we're Barbados, right? And so there we are. What do you think is your future in football?
I see myself playing professional football. Yes, please. Definitely.
As a midfielder?
Yes, please.
With
what
team?
Paris Saint-Germain.
I can hear noise in my ears. And so what about you, Kelly? What's your future?
I also see myself playing professional football with Liverpool FC. And yes, these are my goals.
And you want to stay in the goal?
Yes, please. Yes, please.
Why do you like it so much?
I like it so much because of the plot. For me, I like the fact that sometimes you got to save the day, and sometimes you just got to look at yourself and be like, how you could have saved that ball, what you could have done better. But for me, it's all fun football. No matter where you go, it's fun. And I love to go keep saving balls. That's good for me.
Yeah,
fun.
the cheers and the applause that goes up where you could block it. I know exactly what you mean. We have some Barbadian young men who have made it onto the international agenda, really playing on the big team with the big teams. Thierry Gale is one of them. You guys know him?
Yes.
What do you think of him, Ruben?
Well, I think that he's an overall good player. Of course, I watched him play a couple of times, and I really look up to him, the way he carries himself on and off the field, and how he was able to make it big, coming from the small island Barbados. I really admire that.
What about you, Kelly?
I love to watch Thierry Gale. Even as a goalkeeper, I love to watch him because he's just a very talented player, in my opinion. He proved himself from a young footballer, came up through the roots of football, so he was able to make himself known, and he's playing at a professional level, semi-professional level right now, so a lot of Barbadian footballers look up to him.
Marlon, did you know him?
Yeah, I was fortunate to work with him in previous youth national teams. He was always super talented, always willing to work hard, and I'm glad that he's the example now for these youngsters.
More and more I'm seeing young boys playing football. That must make your heart so warm to see that there's a cadre of youngsters who are preparing to be the next stage of football.
Yeah, I think especially in this climate that we have in Barbados, you get young men here who are focused and committed to the task that go on to represent their country. I think these should be highlighted, and it should be mentioned more in the public, because they represent good examples that people can lean into. Just as Thierry was for these boys, I'm sure that these boys now would be leaders and examples for others.
Kelly, did you have the mother or father saying in your ears, listen, my man, put that ball down, you got to get to your work, or did you have the full support from get-go?
Well, to be quite honest with you, it's a mix. I don't know. Sports, whenever you're playing sport, it's all about balancing. So my mother was always like, Khalid, if you playing football Monday, at least choose to do some schoolwork. My mother was always on my case about schoolwork because education is needed.
Yes.
I had to make it as a professional in football.
So what about you, Ruben? You had that full support from get-go, or was there that tuss and pull as well?
No, it was a little bit of both. They were trying to implement a balance. So it was just Yeah, like schoolwork and football, a balance. You have to balance it.
I ask the question because oftentimes parents don't understand the value of support. And there's also the skill set that the child really truly has and the passion that the child has for the sport. And so that understanding of it was easier for both of you because you were fortunate to have a support system around you that saw your skill and saw your ability. And so, Coach Mornin, let's talk to the adult now, the parent, the guardians, who think it's a waste of time. You ran around enough, you've sweated enough, get back in here and get into your books. Let's talk about what that means for a child.
Interestingly, it's a conversation I have a lot with parents. You know, the key word as mentioned by the boys is balance. You know what I mean? I think what you do as a sports person, sometimes it can just even lift your confidence and make you more confident as a student. So the student athlete for me is somebody that, you know, should be embraced and celebrated. I think for parents, you know, you have the worries. I'm a father now, so I see it with my 7-year-old. Thank you. You know, you want them to do really well in school, but, you know, everybody has their unique journey. So it's your job as parents to kind of make sure that there's equal investment in the sport and the academics.
I spent a lot of time with my godsons. One of them, Lord have mercy, I want to hide the ball. I want to hide the ball. And he said, Uncle, come play with me, come play with me. I ain't really good at football, but nonetheless, it's good to see that he has that passion. He's trying all the skills in the world. I know eventually he'll probably find himself under your tutelage at some point. But, you know, to see young boys taking up the sport with the passion that we see from them now, I think the future looks really good. And these youngsters, you too, who are doing so well, even at your under 17 age, and the next stage up is one in which you'll continue to do very well. But these are only 2 members of the team. Can you call the names of the others who were on that team?
Oh,
hard, right?
I got Kai Roach, our other goalkeeper, Shaquan King, there's Jacob Gollop, there's Ty Waterman, there's Tiago Barrow, there's Rosario Roach, there's a Sean Grisha, there's Nikolai Banton, Jamarco Johnson, there's Scotty, Malik Peters, Amari Small, and Davion Torn, and Tyrico Bellamy. Missing?
I think we got everybody.
Got Adam.
Adam King, for sure.
Terrell Nightingale. Jamar Henry, you call it?
Jamar Henry.
It's a lot of you guys.
Yeah.
And I wanted to call their names because they too are special.
They are.
And lest we forget, we want to applaud them as well. I was just watching that game. I think I just saw you. No, it wasn't you. But there's so many people. We're watching our screens as we watch the game. I think this was the game against who? St. Martin.
Yeah.
When they got that comeback goal.
Yeah, they didn't deserve it, but it happens.
Yes, indeed, it happens.
This is actually one of the largest margins of victory for a Barbados national team.
And that's the one we showed the cheer to everybody because we were so hugely proud that we beat them bad.
Yeah.
That felt good indeed. And so it's midterm break. You guys are still in school, right, Ruben and Khalik?
Yes, please.
How do you stay on top of your skill set in midterm break?
Well, first thing first, you know, as you say, it's always about balance. So you check your schedule first, see what's going on. No, I just had 2 weeks of football overseas, so the balance for me will more be on the school side because you got to catch back up with the schoolwork. So for now, for this midterm break, I'm mostly just trying to make sure that all your labs done, all my SBS done, school homework that I get from school done, schoolwork back on terms. If any football come to part, I will say, I could go with it because I'm mostly committed to the schoolwork now, but just mostly into the schoolwork.
Okay, Ruben?
As Khalik said, I go I go to school in Jamaica, so I actually head back next week. So we have the study sessions in the nighttime from 7 to 9 o'clock. So just focus from there.
What are you doing in Jamaica?
I go to school there.
What are you doing in Jamaica?
I mean,
you happen to go to school in Jamaica?
Yes, please, yeah.
School
on a scholarship.
On a scholarship. Okay. I just wanted to be clear as what it is indeed. But well done. So how did people respond, Khalik, when you returned and knew that you were part of that Barbados team? How did your colleagues at school respond to you guys?
Well, it was a very warm welcome, I would say, because you don't normally see a lot of our teams doing that, so it felt like if
you're a superstar.
When I was a superstar, so to get back, people were like, oh, Khalik, that team did so well. But it felt good because you don't normally get it from setting history for national teams. So it felt wonderful. A lot of voices telling you that you did good.
What's next, Marlon, for this team?
Yeah, we actually continue training. We train on Saturday. We prepare the boys now for the next assignment, which will be the under-20s, because they move up age group. And it's just to have a post-mortem on our performances, kind of tick off the things that we did well and look at ways that we can improve as a team. Also, we want to prepare individual and development plans for each of the players to make sure that they keep on the right pathway in terms of their football development, and academically we want to make sure that they focus on that as well.
Well done. This sounds like a good plan. Really good plan indeed. So well done, each of you. Congratulations. You made us here at Mornin Barbados so proud that we shared the matches as we saw the results. We had them on TV so that everyone can see the work of our under-17 football team who represented us so well in the qualifier for CONCACAF in Trinidad and Tobago. So keep this up, young men. Keep up your schoolwork, keep up your passion for the sport, the discipline and the balance you know now. And so as you continue to do so, success is yours. It will follow. You don't have to chase it. It will come to you. And Marlon, great work you and your team are doing to raising these up and doing you're doing young men doing positive things. We love that. Absolutely love it. And of course, feel free all the time to talk to us with what's happening so we can bring it to our TV screen and to let all Barbadians know how proud we are of our under-17 and then under-20 football teams. Well done.
Yeah, thank you.
Thank you, Khalik. Thank you, Ruben, as well. And Ruben, safe journey back to Jamaica.
Thank you.
You're very welcome. We'll take a break here on Mornin Barbados and we're back in a moment.
There is a saying, you can find a Bajan anywhere. Are you a Bajan living abroad? Or do you know of one who has migrated to another country? Well, we at Mornin Barbados would love to have you or them on our Bajan Afar segment. Share your amazing stories, experiences, and how you have adapted to a new culture. Send us an email to morninbarbados@cbc.vb. And together we will travel the world.
God will not give you a job. God will not call you to do something and then not give you the capacity to have it, to make it happen. He will give you the resources, He'll give you the people. Not only will He equip you with ideas, but He will equip you with favor, as He did Nehemiah.
Turn on the latest episode of Infinite Possibilities, only on CBC TV8, every Sunday at 1:30 p.m., sponsored by Covenant Life Teaching Center.
Welcome.
Morning, morning, morning. Good morning. Good morning to you.
Before I forget, let me tell you today, Q in the Community is going to be at Briar Hall Playing Field today for Q in the Community. And I'm saying that because we want you to come out early o'clock. It's at 11 o'clock it starts. Buses will leave Gate 1. Dario is your driver, Gate 1 of the Granville Williams Terminal. So don't miss Q in the Community today at Briar Hall Playing Field, hosted by Bonnie's Bar. It's a great line, it's a great time, and we want you to come out in your numbers so to congregate, to have a good time among yourself. Tomorrow is Friday, and that means that tomorrow is the opening of Parliament in the new term under a new administration. And so this is what we do. We'll be bringing you live coverage of that opening ceremony, but we want to reflect, lest you forget, of just how it works. In 2022 was the last opening of Parliament, and it was held then at the Lord Erskine Sandiford Centre because the Parliament buildings were under renovation and repair. Let's look back at that before we tell you what to expect tomorrow.
Parliament was dissolved on December 27th last year to allow for the January 19th general elections this year. As most of you may be aware, the historic Parliament buildings are undergoing extensive renovations, and since early 2020, sittings of Parliament have been held temporarily at the Worthing Corporate Centre in Worthing, Christchurch.
And so that was in 2022 at the Lloyd's Skin Sandifer Center. You heard the reason being given there by the commentator. Tomorrow, however, we will turn all of us as Barbadians, proud Barbadians all, our attention to the seat of democracy, the Parliament buildings in Bridgetown. And so history will be made with the appointment of a new Speaker of the House of Assembly, chosen from outside the elected membership. A shift aimed at ensuring that elected representatives can continue to give voice to the communities that they serve. And there is the Sergeant at Arms with a mace, and that is what we'll expect to see tomorrow as well, as the Sergeant at Arms with a mace will make his way into the Parliament building to the door. He will knock on that door, and then they will allow entry in. But once the mace is, see, that's what happens. There it is. It will be responded to on the inside, and the door will be opened. He'll be allowed entry in by the Speaker of the House, because at that time, generally, it's expected that the people doing business are in there, and you are not allowed unless there's that particular code. As you see, a little glimpse inside, membership would have already settled, the members of Parliament, and the okay would have been given to the Sergeant at Arms to come in with the mace. Once the mace is in and set in a particular position, then it is on. So the day's proceeding will include a speech from the President. As you see here, the President at the time was Dame Sandra Mason. This time, the President, the Most Honourable Jeffrey Bostic, he will be there and he will deliver his speech, the state speech. And we'll have also while there the installation of the President of the Senate and the official unveiling of who are the new senators. And they will waste no time in getting down to the business of governance. So all of them will be in there at some point in time. Then the senators will leave and they will go to their area. And there's a process that unfolds there, as you can see part of that process. They will leave and go to their area. The parliamentarians remain in the House of Assembly and they will continue. So it's going to be tradition. And as that tradition can be moved from tradition to transformation, and all of that you will see tomorrow right here on TV8. That happens from 4 in the afternoon, 4 o'clock in the afternoon. Of course, we'll be streaming it on our website, cbc.bb. We'll be streaming it on our YouTube channel as well, which you're probably watching at the moment. So see it all indeed. And we want you to stay tuned to us as we bring you the beginning of our next parliamentary chapter here. And so I want to encourage all of you to be there tomorrow at 4 o'clock watching TV8 for the opening of Parliament and all the ceremony and the pomp and pageantry that we'll obtain. I do know that the members of the Barbados Police Service have already been in rehearsal. Everyone has already been in rehearsal in preparation for tomorrow, because it's going to be quite a significant moment in time in Bridgetown as the opening of Parliament will literally happen again in the historic Parliament buildings. And as you know, there are 2 buildings of Parliament, 2 houses of Parliament, the Senate and the lower house, the Parliament. And so they will have moments as well where ceremonial activity will occur, and you'll see it, I'm sorry, you'll see it all right here on TV8. So before we go, let me remind you of our question of the day. We are in the Lenten season, so I'm asking the question today, if you're giving something up this Lent, what is it? What is that something you're giving up for Lent? Is it sweets and sugary drinks? Is it social media and screen time? Is it fast food and late night snacking, Peter? Is it complaints and negative talking? Or is it nothing at all because you're just adding prayer or good deeds instead? What is it you're choosing to give up? We really want to think about this, because the period of Lent is about sacrifice. And in that sacrifice is getting back to the source of your sustenance. And oftentimes we've grown so far away from the truth that we found ourselves placing a lot of importance where we should not. And so for Lent, it brings us back to what's important indeed. Yesterday, school children had an opportunity to go to church and to worship for their cross, the sign of the cross from the ashes. And so the adults as well later in the day. Now we're into 40 days of Lent, 40 days and 40 nights, ending with Good Friday and eventually the magnificent resurrection, which is the foundation of the church. And so we want you to be a part of Lent. Do not dismiss this important scriptural moment. That's it for today. My little crew joins with me in saying to all of you, have a terrific Thursday. By the will of the Lord, we will see you tomorrow. Bye-bye.
Wake up, wake up, wake up, wake up. Barbados, get up. Good morning.